Did you hear about that new game called GTA 6? It's very cool, but it seems to take forever before it is released.
Yeah, I know. But there is this guy, Peter, who also created GTA 6. GTA stands for Great Terror Attack in this case. But this game is actually much cooler in my opinion, and you can already get it from itch.io for free now.
Wow, that's fantastic. I'll go home and download it right away.
Okay, have a great day. See ya.
Hello dear friends. In previous videos we started to create our own GTA 6 game. First we built the basic gameplay. Then we added some moving cars with nav meshes. In this episode we will create a realistic NPCs for our GTA 6 game. In the GTA games you can watch people having conversations on the street. This adds to the immersive gameplay. So let's add the ability to have conversations for the NPCs today. But first let's add some funny detail. I will go to Miximo and I try to find a pose that we can use so the player will fart every now and then. So I'm looking for something like bend over. And I think this is a nice pose. We can use that every once in a while, and this will be like if you are farting. And we can add a sound to that as well. Take a sound from freesound.org, and then we will import that into our project. And over here I have the pose that we just downloaded. And now we can add a new layer to the animation, to the animator, with the fart position. If we now go to the code, to the NPC script, we can add a new state called farting, and we will also add a constant fart likeliness. This determines how much times the person will fart. If it will be too much, it will be very disturbing, but if it's very unlikely, then we also don't want to have that. So I chose this value for now. And so this code we can add to realize the farting. We have this layer for the farting. We will make it active as soon as the state changes to farting. This happens when we are not farting yet. And by the way, and if we are not farting, we will also go back to the make this layer 0 if it's active. We use linear interpolation so that we will go slowly from that value to 0 back to the normal animation without the farting part. So in the case we are not following another player, we will check that fart likeliness against a random value, and if it's higher than this or lower than this likeliness value, then we will set the state to farting and the player will start farting. You will also notice that we will play a sound. We change the state to farting. And when we do change it to farting, it will also go back to when the farting is over. And for that we have this time left in the current state. So we set the NPC state to farting, and we set also a duration over here. And the duration in this case is half a second. So after half a second automatically this farting state will end, and we will go back to the previous state that the animation was in, and the farting will end that way. So now for the main part, to create the conversations, first we need to have some blend shapes. So we need to animate the mouth of the NPC. We will create 4 blend shapes, 1 for blinking the eyes and 3 for implementing the talking. I've shown this in another video, how I wrote my own script to make this work. So this is a nice free way to create the mouth animations. So it's just go over it very fast now. We're using Blender. We first importing the old FBX, and then we will add the blend shapes by modifying the shapes of the mouth. And then finally we will save that back as an FBX. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a good way to copy the blend shapes from one Mixamo character to another. So for now I've only done a few characters with face animation, and the other ones just don't move lips when they have a conversation. What I need to do now is to swap the old FBX for the new one that has blend shapes in it. So I'm editing the prefab to change it to the one that has the blend shapes in it. And while I was doing so, I was adding the ragdoll for this character as well, as you could just see. Okay, now let's take a look at the code. For all the players that have these blend animations, we added a script called face animation, and what it basically does is you can set an audio source on it, and if that audio source is playing, then we sync the lips. And we do that by analyzing the sound data and determining when we need to open or close the mouth. So it closes and opens in the same manner as the sound that it's being played. So it's synchronized, the lips are synchronized. Also need to modify the NPC script. So we added a state talking for the NPCs and a constant talk likeliness that determines how many times this person is willing to talk. So, and if he is willing to talk, then we check if there is somebody near him, so somebody closer than max distance, an NPC that is available for talking. And if there is an NPC, the first one is picked, and we start following that NPC. So we set the state of the guy that we are following to standing still, so we don't need to chase him and be faster than him, but he will be standing still, so we can just walk towards him like this. And then his state will be that he is being followed and he cannot talk to other persons in the meantime. And then so we start following the player, and when we are close to the player, you can see that this code is executed when he is following, and when he is closer than a certain distance, first he moves in the direction of the player that he wants to follow, and if he's close enough, his speed will slow down. And finally we set the NPC state back to what it was, but we check if this state was that he was following a player. Then we know only NPCs follow other players for the purpose of talking. So we know that he wanted to talk to him, and we start the conversation. So when the conversation starts, we set the NPC state to talking. We start playing a sound. There are different types of sounds. We have conversations for the male and the female, that the first one is a female and the second one is a male, or that the second one is a female and the first one is a male, and also for the male-male conversation and for the female-female conversation, because female voices sound different, of course. So we have a different type of conversations for every type of gender. And then we play that sound, and we start a coroutine so that we will also end the conversation, and we can do some things in this end conversation function that's over here. So we will fire that function when the clip length is over. So when the clip has been played, then we go back and change the state from talking back to the state that it was before. And we also set the state on the following person, the person we were following, the other person of the conversation. So I called this start conversation second person. And this function will be called on the NPC script of the second person. So he will have the second part of the conversation, and also his conversation will finally end in the same way that it does with the first person from the conversation. We create the conversations. Of course, it would be very nice if we could use AI to generate completely random conversations and use text to voice at real time. But this requires a lot of processing power and connectivity. So what I did instead is just create some prepared conversations. The advantage is that we can make it sound really good, and that we can also create some really interesting conversations and not some boring random stuff. So let's take a look at an example of such a conversation. This is a text-to-speech program that you can use. If you really want to use it, you need to buy it, I think, but for this demonstration we can see how you can work with it. I've got Audacity over here. I've set it up with the WASAPI, and then I can just record my own the sound of my own computer. So the recording device is some loopback device, so this one. And now if I press record and I go to the text to speech, I can just play it.
Hi, how are you?
And let's put a woman saying, hi, I am fine. Okay, I've reached the limit for now, but you can see over here that we have this conversation recorded.
Hi, how are you?
And we can create multiple of these conversations, and we can then cut and edit them a little bit like this. And then what I did was, if I have the whole conversation over here, both mixing of woman and man all together in one large conversation, I just mute the parts of the man. So like this. Amplify and make it really strong, and then if apply, then this part just disappears. But I keep the conversations for the male part, and then I save it again, but this time I'll save the parts of the female, and then I end up with two conversations. You can see the actual conversation that I recorded already over here. So for example, this female-male conversation.
Did you hear about that new game called GTA 6?
The first part
It's very cool,
is
but it
only
seems to
the
take forever
female.
before it is released.
And then after that we have the male part over here. So first he doesn't speak, but the woman speaks. So I keep
Yeah, I
this
know.
part
But there is
mute
this guy,
just to keep
Peter,
them in sync.
who also created GTA.
So, and then we play these parts by the respective persons, the NPCs, actually at their own location, so you can also hear the difference of the sound coming from one direction and then from the second direction if you would really stand in between them in the game. Let's take a look at the final result. I've got 4 prefabs here that have that face animation. And we will spawn them in the vicinity of the player with a radius of 30 over here. So we will just need to wait until some are being spawned. They will be spawned every 5 seconds. So there we have our first person. And we can just follow her and see.
Did you hear about her outfit at the party that other day? It was hilarious.
She goes to
Oh yeah, totally.
start
Who would wear a
talking
green skirt
already
together
to
with a blue
another
blouse?
player.
We should really give her some styling advice the next time we see her.
Definitely. Oops, I gotta go now. I got a bus to catch. See ya.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah, I know. But there is this guy, Peter, who also created
Did you hear about her
GTA
outfit
6.
at the party that other day?
GTA stands for Great
was
Terror
hilarious.
Attack in this case.
Oh yeah.
But this game is actually much cooler in my opinion. And you can already get it
We
from
can see the
itch.io
move,
for free
the
now.
mouth moving
Wow,
over
that's
here.
fantastic. I will go home and download it right away.
Okay, have a great day. See ya.
Yeah, see you later. Did you hear about her outfit at the party that other day? It was hilarious. Excuse
Oh
me,
yeah,
do you know where I
totally.
can find
Who would
Bird
wear a
Street?
green skirt together with a blue blouse?
We should really give her some styling advice the next time we see her.
Definitely. Oops, I gotta go now. I got a bus to catch. See ya.
Now, will you tell
Yeah,
me how
see
to
you
get
later.
All right. It's across the street.
Okay, that's it for today. Slowly our GTA 6 game is becoming more mature, and by the time the real GTA 6 is released, it will probably be fully playable. I will put it on itch.io already now, so you can have a look. I kept some glitches in, because it makes the game more fun. If you can create a really funny glitch effect in the game, please share it. Thanks for supporting my videos, and see you in the next one.